Well, good Wednesday evening wherever you are. We've got some severe weather going on across North Carolina, also across Texas tonight. 2 severe thunderstorm watches, the one in Texas, also into the far western panhandle of Oklahoma. This is in effect until 10 p.m. Central Time. And then off to the east, we have a severe thunderstorm watch also in effect for parts of North Carolina, South Carolina. That does include Fayetteville, Charlotte, all the way down to Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, back to Columbia and Greenville, South Carolina, right at the western edge of that. These storms could drop some hail and, maybe even an isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out. Let's take a look at the future radar. This is what you need to know overnight, where the showers are going. We're going to back this up a little bit, moving through the evening, now into the overnight hours by 2, 3, 4 a.m. Showers moving across central Oklahoma, now moving into central Missouri. These storms starting to weaken overnight, but they're going to fire up again tomorrow. We're bringing in a lot of Gulf moisture too. That's going to fuel the showers, the thunderstorms, and the rain could be heavy at times. Take a look at this map. The Weather Prediction Center highlighting a good part of East Texas. Also over into Louisiana too, we could see some very heavy rain. So there is a moderate risk for some excessive rainfall, and that extends into Friday now, just to the east of that. So right along the Gulf Coast and even as far north as, just because you're in the green, that's still a marginal risk of some flooding all the way north into Pennsylvania, Ohio, into the Appalachians. Now, the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow has shifted that severe threat a little further to the south. So we're looking at the Gulf Coast. And I think you got to watch the storms into Wisconsin, also right here into Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Illinois, even Tennessee, at least the western parts of Tennessee, and then Florida, once again, under threat for some storms. The biggest severe weather, as far as tornadoes go, at least that risk will be right here along the Gulf Coast, back into central Texas. Also, again, right in here, there'll be enough dynamics, I think, and some shear that we could see some tornadoes and enough lift of those storms across Texas that we could really loft those raindrops up into the air and those hailstones could form, especially right here across west and central Texas, as far east too, into eastern Texas. And I would say even into Louisiana too, as some of those storms push off to the east. But that heavy rain threat will be the big problem heading into tomorrow. Here's a quick look at the radar to the east. These storms across North and South Carolina will settle down as we move into the overnight hours. So here we are at 3 a.m. Eastern, really pretty much done with the severe weather. And then we've got rain moving into places like Boston, Providence, back into Hartford. New York City, we may see a few showers, but look at this, everything pinwheeling kind of back this way around our low here across the northeast coast. So kind of cool, a little damp here. There comes that heavy rain now moving into the south, so into Arkansas, Louisiana, eventually into Mississippi by tomorrow night. We do start to dry out some here in the northeast, showers moving into Michigan, Ohio. These right here will continue to push off to the east. And then look at this big bulk of rain that moves into parts of the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee, eventually moving into Ohio as we move into Friday. So a wet day here and then heavy rain across the south, especially where you get that Gulf Coast connection. There's the rain we're looking at on Friday. Some rain showers also up here across the northern plains, a lot of that lifting into Canada. Now, Saturday, some folks have been asking here about New England. I think there's just been so much question about what happens with this system here across the mid-Atlantic as we head into Saturday. And I think we're starting to see some consensus. I'm telling you, earlier today, I felt like the Northeast was looking fairly dry through the weekend. And that's kind of been the trend as we headed through the afternoon in some of the models, keeping most of that rain, I would argue, southwest of this line. I don't think you're scot-free, but it's looking definitely drier. And if you can get rid of the clouds and get some sunshine, you can warm up pretty quickly. The long-term pattern does start to change up a little bit as we head into next week too. In fact, it's going to get downright hot here across the Central Plains once we kick this system out. That's going to move to the east, again, across the mid-Atlantic heading into the weekend. And then look at this ridging starting to build here. Temperatures likely popping up above normal. Some cooler air trying to work into the northwest as we head into Saturday and Sunday. This will move off the coast. And then I'm telling you guys what, this right here needs to be watched heading into next Monday and Tuesday. We're going to get hot right in here, okay? I think this is going to be some warm weather as we see this ridge build in once this upper low kicks out. And I mentioned this yesterday, up around the Arctic now, you're starting to see flow that goes more like this. So you've reversed that, what typical winter pattern is. The polar vortex is just completely broken down. It's just wild to see these chunks of cold air here, what's left of the Arctic cold, just break off and move south. But this looks like a little bit of a negatively tilted trough by next Tuesday. What does that mean? Well, maybe some severe weather out ahead of it here once we move into Tuesday and Wednesday. We've still got a lot of time, and this is a very negatively tilted trough, so this could lead to some decent severe weather maybe for the Northeast heading into Wednesday and potentially Thursday of next week. A long time to get there. If you like this kind of stuff, hope you'll subscribe and come back. I'll catch you next time, guys.